for a reinvigoration of South-South cooperation to drive inclusive growth, advance sustainable development, and accelerate the reform of global governance institutions. IPSA nations are well positioned to champion the priorities of the Global South, including scaling up climate finance, enhancing food and health security, supporting foundational learning, and mobilizing investment for disaster risk reduction. The fourth Binational Commission meeting between South Africa and Mozambique, which focused on accelerating implementation of the BNC decision. President Cyril Ramaphosa led South Africa's delegation to the fourth South Africa-Mozambique Binational Commission meeting in Maputo, Mozambique. The fourth BNC reached agreement through 99 decisions with implementation timeframes in areas ranging from economic cooperation and development, diplomatic cooperation, safety and security, and social development. Presidents Ramaphosa and Chapo directed the ministers of both countries to ensure tangible progress with implementation of the fourth BNC decisions. Progress in the implementation of the decisions will be reported during the fifth BNC meeting in South Africa in 2026. The two presidents also officiated the official launch of the Sasol hydrocarbons processing integrated infrastructure in Hansoro town in Inyambane province on the 3rd of December 2025. On safety and security, we are winning the battle against crime as statistics indicate a decline across crime categories. Cabinet welcomed a reported decline in crime across most crime categories according to the South African Police Service's released crime statistics for the first and second quarters of 2025 financial year. The crime statistics covering the period from April to June and July to September 2025 show significant reductions in serious and violent crime, with murder rates dropping substantially. Murders decreased by 6.5% in the first quarter and by 11.5% in the second quarter. Cabinet commended law enforcement agencies for the continuing hard work against crime and calls upon society to join the fight against crime. Cabinet decision. Implementation plan to drive growth and inclusion. Cabinet approved the implementation plan and inclusion based on the priorities of the 7th Administration's Medium-Term Development Plan. The plan aims for a coordinated and of prioritized economic development interventions which were designed under multiple initiatives. The core pillars of the plan are economic reforms to fix the fundamentals of the economy, public service reforms to build a state that delivers, and industrial policy reforms to pursue new areas of growth. The focused and prioritized implementation will give the plan the same impetus of the structural reforms program under Operation Vulindlela. Critical Mineral Strategy for South Africa, the implementation plan. Cabinet approved the Critical Mineral Strategy implementation plan, which details a roadmap to leverage opportunities in mineral wealth arising from the surge in demand for critical minerals due to their increased applications in digital technology, defense, healthcare, consumer electronics, and electric vehicles, amongst others. The implementation plan focuses on 6 pillars, which are geoscience mapping and exploration, 2, value addition and localization, 3, research, development and innovation, 4, infrastructure and energy security, 5, financial instruments, and 6, regulatory harmonization. The implementation of the critical mineral strategy will significantly contribute to economic growth and job creation. Draft revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection. Cabinet has approved the draft revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection for public consultations. The revision builds on the final white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection approved by Cabinet in 2024, updating certain policy propositions and adding detailed guidance on proposals contained in the original version. Key enhancements of the white paper include integration of recommendations from Operation Vulindlela's report on visa policy reforms and additional clarity and detail to strengthen implementation of immigration and citizenship policies. The revised white paper aims to ensure a coherent, modernized approach to citizenship, immigration and refugee protection that supports national development and national security objectives, including the first safety country principle, which encourages refugees to seek protection in the first country they reach that is considered safe. The medium-term plan biannual progress reports. Cabinet received and considered the biannual progress reports on the implementation of the 2024-2029 medium-term development plan for April to September 2025. The reports provided an overview of the government department's performance over the 6-month period, highlighting areas of performance successes as well as areas where delivery is lagging or facing obstacles. Cabinet deliberated these findings and emphasized the need for continued focus on improved implementation. Further in-depth briefings will be provided by the Minister of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, together with the co-chairpersons of Cabinet clusters. National Strategy to Accelerate Action for Children. Cabinet approved the National Strategy to Accelerate Action for Children, a strategy that aims to accelerate action for the welfare and development of children and adolescents across South Africa. The strategy focuses on closing the food gap, stimulating language and learning.
When traveling the world, you're not just looking for any agency.
Emphasizes collaboration and shared responsibility to ensure that every child has the opportunity to thrive. Members of the public can access the strategy on the Department of Social Development website, www.dsd.gov.za. The 5th National Plan of Action for Children, 2025-2030. Cabinet approved the 5th National Plan of Action for Children, 2025-2030, which ensures implementation of the National Strategy to Accelerate Action for Children that we just approved. This is a strategic framework to address the rights, needs, and well-being of children in the country. The plan aligns with the international frameworks, particularly the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and national legislation, including the Constitution and the Children's Act of 2005. Building on progress since 1996, the 5th National Plan of Action Plan provides a comprehensive roadmap to protect and promote children's rights, recognizing persistent challenges while reaffirming government's commitment to creating a better future for the country's most vulnerable children. Key focus areas include empowering every child as a rights-bearing active citizen, strengthening systems approach between government and partners to ensure that all children are recognized, empowered, and enabled to thrive. The plan can be found in the website of the Department of Employment and Labor, which is www.del.gov.za. Program of Action to Address Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. Cabinet approved a comprehensive program of action to address gender-based violence and femicide, including a service delivery framework and institutional arrangements to drive a whole-of-society approach in addressing the GBVF scourge. The comprehensive program of action focuses on the implementation of the following 5 priority areas. Prevention, that is 1. Prevention and rebuilding social cohesion, that is 1, which focuses on eliminating social acceptance of violence and addressing structural drivers. Greater effort will be made to engage men and boys in prevention dialogues to dismantle harmful norms and toxic masculinity. 2. Enhanced law enforcement protection, safety and justice, aimed at strengthening the criminal justice system to ensure protection and justice for survivors. Expanded victim-friendly facilities and specialized GBV desk at South African Police Services stations are part of this effort. Victim and survivor-centered support which seeks to provide equitable access to high-quality services across justice, health, and education sectors. Emphasis is in an integrated support system that prioritizes dignity, healing, and empowerment, ensuring survivors receive comprehensive care without discrimination or delay. Fourth, communication and stakeholder engagement and mobilization, which focuses on transforming social norms at all levels through consistent, evidence-based messaging. It aims to challenge harmful attitudes, promote gender equality, and mobilize communities to actively participate in ending GBVF. Fifth, institutional arrangements, which ensure strong governance and accountability mechanisms across all spheres of society, and calls for firm, coordinated leadership and clear institutional roles to drive implementation, monitor progress, and enforce accountability. Victims of violence are encouraged to use the 24-hour Gender-Based Violence Command Center hotline, which is 0800 428 428, to report abuse and access support services. Draft National Open Science Policy. Cabinet approved the Draft National Open Science Policy, which is a proposed framework designed to guide the country's approach to open science. Open science refers to the practice of making scientific research, data science policy, positions South Africa